world, and we got it done, and we're going to get it done again very quickly. Now, I think I do it with an executive order because they didn't go through Congress. I got it approved through Congress, so I think we get it done fast. But it's going to be that can supply all of Asia with its location. All of Asia can be supplied by Anwar. So there's so many things, but we don't want to have any future president ever sabotage our economy with out-of-control regulations as the last 2 Democrat presidents have done. They went crazy. Last week I signed an order revoking Joe Biden's destructive artificial intelligence regulations so that AI companies can once again focus on being the best, not just being the most woke. And today and over the last couple of days I've been reading about China and some of the companies in China, one in particular, coming up with a faster method of AI and much less expensive method. And that's good because you don't have to spend this much money. I view that as a positive, as an asset. So I really think if it's fact and if it's true, and nobody really knows if it is, but I view that as a positive because you'll be doing that too. So you won't be spending as much and you'll get the same result, hopefully. The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser focused on competing to win because we have the greatest scientists in the world. Even Chinese leadership told me that. They said, you have the most brilliant scientists in the world in Seattle and various places. But Silicon Valley, they said, there's nobody like those people. This is very unusual when you hear a DeepSeek, when you hear somebody come up with something. We always have the ideas. We're always first. So I would say that's a positive. That could be very much a positive development. So instead of spending billions and billions, you'll spend less and you'll come up with hopefully the same solution. Under the Trump administration, we're going to unleash our tech companies and we're going to dominate the future like never before.
The Trump administration is reportedly contemplating measures that could impact one of China's newest AI contenders, DeepSeek. This decision has caught the attention of industry giants and governments alike, especially considering the ripples it caused in the global stock market. Leading figures like Nvidia, which experienced a significant market cap fluctuation, are directly impacted by DeepSeek's strategic moves. As tensions escalate, the actions taken by the U.S. could have far-reaching implications. Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy.
Nvidia's lost $1 trillion in market cap since its high in early January. That's pretty remarkable. $1 trillion in market cap wiped out.
While revenues and earnings continue to get stronger and stronger. And that's where, as an investor, you have to say the market doesn't believe the E of Nvidia because Nvidia right now is trading at a PE below Apple, right? Apple's revenues and earnings are growing in the single digits. Nvidia's revenues and earnings are growing in the 70 to 100%. Yet, even though Apple is not growing, the market says, well, it's not growing, but I feel comfortable with the E. The market doesn't feel comfortable with the E on Nvidia. I think there'll be a point here on the chips when you just have to plug your nose and buy them because I promise if you look at Broadcom, Dell's ISG Group, Nvidia, Marvell, the data center trade is not slowing down. Well, the data center trade is great for jobs.
Marvell was ugly, right? After earnings.
But their earnings were great.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. The stock went down the way it did. Even Broadcom had strong results, and that stock was going to be our chart of the day. Pulled that off because the reaction in the market wasn't as strong as it was. Now it's ramping a little bit further up. But what about this space, chips, which have been weak?
It's been difficult. But I mean, I think the view from here, as you were citing, is the earnings, the multiples. These are getting in value ranges. And I think that's what's really attractive here. And I think that's one of the reasons with the pessimism is that I think we can have a really nice rally out of this. Again, I'm not saying it bottoms in, but Broadcom is one of our larger holdings. 78% year over year growth in the AI segment. This is just tremendous stuff. NVIDIA's earnings, at least it's not shaking it off like it did NVIDIA's quite yet. But I think these names, they have a place in your portfolio. We like them. And I think we're going to see them have better days.
It all depends. And I want to say one more thing on NVIDIA. One of the things that I wonder about a lot is I don't think it's the real NVIDIA investors who are selling that, who've sold it down 25%. If we think about the work that Bob Pisani did on those crazy single stock ETFs, right? Where let's say you thought you missed out on NVIDIA 2 months ago and you got in late and you bought a 2 times leverage NVIDIA exchange traded fund and now you're washed out and then that's compounded. I think the pain in some of these stocks like Nvidia, to Bryn's excellent point, is trading cheaper than Apple and still has 70% earnings growth ahead. I don't think the pain's from people making a fundamental decision on that. I think it's from these like Yahoo kooky fringes that are now being forced to sell, and that takes the money out, because I think the vast majority are sitting on those positions. But it's just, there's maximum uncertainty right now, and you can't deal with that as an investor.
The crux of the issue appears to be the open-source nature of DeepSeek's AI models, which has prompted the U.S. Navy and NASA to already ban the app. Their concerns, echoed by reports in the Wall Street Journal, center around national security, data handling, and the potential risks of having such a powerful tool so widely available. What adds a twist to this tale is the international response, with multiple U.S. allies like Italy, South Korea, and Australia also enforcing similar restrictions. But before going on with the video, are you into cryptocurrency? If so, check out our second channel, Investocracy Crypto. We bring you breaking news, expert analysis, and the latest trends in the fast-moving world of digital assets. Whether you're a seasoned crypto investor or just curious about the future of finance, we've got something for you. Click the link in the description to subscribe to Investocracy Crypto now. Don't miss out and stay ahead of the game. Now, let's get back to the video.
Okay. We think that the growth rates are going to be higher for longer. And so let's just look at Nvidia as an example. Next year, the street's looking for just over 20% revenue growth, down from like 80% in calendar 25 down to mid-20% in calendar 26. I think that number can be meaningfully higher, 35, 40%. And it seems a little bit out of touch with reality, those kind of expectations. But if we're right on that, I think that these stocks will move higher. And just one of the reasons, where does that confidence come from, is that if you take some of Jensen's comments that he had on the last quarter about this 100 to 1,000,000x more compute needed to get to reasoning and advanced reasoning AI, and as we went out and talked to people who are building these, they're companies in our portfolio, private companies, public companies, it's pretty clear he's onto something. And ultimately, if that's the case, and this is going to, I think, surprise some people, is I think that Nvidia's, some of its growth could potentially accelerate early next year relative to the back half of 25.
Well, we said nearly $1 trillion in market cap wiped out since the beginning of the year, or near so, when the stock did hit its high.
Diving deeper, the financial implications for Nvidia are staggering. Earlier in 2025, DeepSeek's groundbreaking claim of having an AI model built at a fraction of the cost sent Nvidia's market cap plummeting by $600 billion in mere hours. As if this financial roller coaster wasn't dizzying enough, it also spurred U.S. regulators to further tighten controls on semiconductor exports. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Well, first up is Nvidia. The once market darling is on pace for its third straight negative week. It's down about 16% so far this year. Quint, you say sell. Why?
Well, let me preface, Morgan. First of all, thanks for having me, but we are significantly oversold. So I would expect that we see a pretty decent rally in all of these names that we're going to talk about today. So I don't necessarily think that today is a good idea to sell this name. But if you are caught in this name and you have watched it decline and you are hoping and praying for a relief rally, when it comes, I think you should consider lightening the position here. Ultimately, Nvidia is a textbook play on the early adoption and phase of AI, clearly selling, chips, incredible fundamentals, and now we're seeing a movement away from that. And ultimately, there's a lot of uncertainty. And what you're going to hear from a variety of people out there is now how inexpensive, from a valuation standpoint, the stock is. It was trading 35 times forward earnings near the peak. Now it's only trading at 20. The problem is those earnings are decelerating. It's still trading 21 times sales, and we just think there's too much uncertainty and the technical trade is broken. So a relief rally here, which I do believe possibly has started today, will allow you to lighten up and sell this into strength.
With Nvidia and DeepSeek entwined in such a high-stakes dance, those who can anticipate the next move could find themselves well-positioned in a game where fortunes are easily made and lost. Considering the forecasts, Nvidia's capability to course-correct through innovation like the H20 chips shows resilience under pressure. But what do you think? Share your thoughts. Finally, if you would like to know what companies like Nvidia have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.